And once you have a transfer function, then automatically the output behavior for an input or the impulse response of that is fixed. And the impulse response, what does it mean? Is equal to response to an impulse or set of impulses at the input. If the single input, single output system where an impulse is given at the input and a response is measured at the output, and this response will contain, time domain response will contain exponentially decaying functions which correspond to the poles of this HFS. In this particular case, for example, this will have an exponential decay with the time constant equal to -1 and 2, 1 and 2, right. The response will be e to the power of minus t and e to the power of minus 2t in this case. So, the poles decide how the impulse response decays, and we also agreed since the impulse response has to decay, then the poles have to be in the left half plane, no right half planes are allowed. So, all the poles have to be in the left half plane. The moment the poles are decided, which happen to be what? Zeros of the characteristic polynomial, which happen to be Si minus A determinant is the characteristic equation, and zeros of the characteristic equation of the poles of this function, which decide the rate at which the decay takes place. Since it has to decay at t tends to infinity, you must have a negative real part, and hence the poles have to be in the left half plane. I am just going on repeating the same thing which we have been doing all the time. Now, question is, given the set of this thing, the decay rates are decided. It is also decided at what rate, for example, if applied to the system a step function as the input, then the black box, single input, single output black box will give a response to it corresponding to this input as a step function in some manner depending upon the poles of this function. It may go like this, right, or it may go like this, or it may go with a. So, the rate at which this reaches the final value and the way it reaches that final value through wiggles or without wiggles and so on and so forth will all depend upon the location of the poles of this function. Now, I do not want it to have wiggles, then I will have to modify the poles at 0, poles of the structure. That is what I mean by controlling this black box. Okay? So, controlling the poles automatically means controlling A, right. So, how do I modify this black box? By giving some input to it, such that along with this input, which is coming out of the output, will modify the black box into a new black box having another A, whose poles will be now, whose corresponding poles will now be of a type which is more suitable to the manner you want to the system to behave. Are you with me? Yes or no? Given a system A, it has a set of poles, right? And the poles decide how the transient response behaves. Now, the transient response behavior is not suitable to me. I would like to modify. For example, the transient response is like this, and then the system goes more than the value of 1, which may be dangerous for the system. So, I do not want it to go into these wiggles. Or I may not like to go like this because the system response is too slow, it is not responding immediately because, for example, it is a chemical factory and I am putting some input to it because I find that I want the output to have some more of chlorine or sodium or something. So, I open some valve here. The moment I open the valve here, this commodity must change its composition to higher value of sodium or potassium or something. Immediately should happen, but this fellow may take a lot of time for this to happen. So, the product in between the time may be useless to you, right. So, you want the system to behave in a manner which you desire. So, which effectively means I will have to modify this ABCD behavior here to a new set of ABCDs, which such that the poles that you get here now are modified to such a manner to give you the kind of response you require. Okay? And how do you do that? By doing some feedback. So, I take something related to the output here or something related to the system, state of the system, and add it as an input to it. So, this along with this previous system will be get modified to give you a new system, and that is the controllable. Because I am controlling with respect to the state of the system to modify the system itself. And to do that, I must be able to measure the state, and after measuring the state, I should be able to use it to control it. And those two conditions are embedded in this. Since the system is controllable and observable, surely I can do that. So, I find out from this response here, this y here and u here, the state of the system, and use the state of the system as an input in the feedback to modify the system. This is called the state control. And state control is doable if these two conditions are met. And how do I do that? One method of doing it is to put u as equal to some k times the x. This is controlling, control law. One control law, not necessarily the only control law. For doing this, I must know x, right? To know this x, I must have a observability. Since satisfied this, I should be able to find out x from the y and u. And once I find the x, use that x to make a kx and use this as an input to it. Are you with me or not? So, now this input, that means now the system is modified, right? Because I am giving some feedback of the system itself, system state itself. So, this whole system now will be modified, which means this system now together with the previous system will have a different values of A, B, C, D, and hence the pole structure of this new system will be different, and the different values is what you really require to make this in the manner you want it. This is called the state control. And modern control theory, which has come into existence post 1970 kind of a time scale, is a very recent one comparatively. Now does it everything based on this modern control theory, which is the state control. Okay? And the credit for all this goes to Kalman and people like that, who has given all this theory behind how to use a state control. And now this has become so commonly used in every discipline, whether chemical engineering, chemical factories or steel factories or automobiles or planes or satellites or every one of them. The system control is done by similar techniques as state control. And all this of course is done by computer and automatically does all this controlling laws and all this. Okay. Let me now proceed on some concept like this. Don't think I am able to give you a glimpse of this theory, but I am just introducing you to what the modern control theory is. Because the book on the first course on modern control theory will be about 700 pages book, and anything like a master's level of this will be 4 books of that kind, and so on and so forth. So, I am not trying to push all that into your mind, but this is the method that is adopted in modern control theory. You must be exposed to it.